is harmonizing us. Actually, that's melodicizing us, isn't it?
Yeah. If when I have the ability to harmonize with myself, we're going to take this thing to the whole next level.
That's some AI right there. That would definitely be AI. I'm not going to say anything about any candidate or not, but my mom sent me like something from the Philippines this morning, and it was on Facebook Messenger, and it was a president saying some just very vulgar stuff, and I was like, Mom, that's not real. Like,
she knew that was real.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Damn. Why did the person send it to her? And I had to tell her, like, hey, make sure you send something back to that person that says that is not real. I mean, it was just outright. It was like it was in the Oval Office. Come on, there's no way that's happening like that. But yeah, dude, when you harmonize with yourself with AI, like, is that a goal of yours?
No. Okay. Absolutely not.
Good.
No, I don't want nothing to do with that.
It wouldn't feel the same.
No. And plus, I got a beautiful daughter who can sing that as long as she's around, I'll harmonize with her.
That's great. For our daughter, I was in the place last night where you and I karaokeized for the first time together.
Ooh.
Yeah, where we did. It was at Skinny's. I mean, that's a common karaoke spot. But you and I did a Dr. Dre song there together, and I stuttered through my part of my verse. Something happened.
You haven't forgotten about that. It sticks with you.
No, it just came out.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, you've probably forgotten many of wonderful karaoke opportunities and harmony scenarios, but here we are with new harmony today. We're on
Hangin
with the homeboys. Yes. Everybody, y'all.
That's right.
What should we call them? I'm gonna go with y'all today.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, our y'alls today. In our first section, home field advantage. We like to talk to buyers and we like to talk to agents. So we've got some good tips for you. We go through later to our Homeyology, our full house section, house party, and then the home stretch when we bring our producer Neil in to pick up the pieces and kind of tell us where we need to fill in the holes.
That's right. I mean? Yeah, and also fact checked us and make sure that our lawyers don't have a cow because we've said some stuff we shouldn't have said. He'll clean all that up with Windex.
My budget is maxed out. The lawyer budget, So, speaking
I've got
of
prepaid
budget,
legal.
At that show last night, I saw a prepaid legal salesman. And
that's not real. It's still real. Here.
Yeah, well, it was. He didn't sell it to me, but I know that he did prepaid legal. Okay, the legal stuff, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, your topic today for the home field advantage for the agents is the tax auction stuff, the tax sale stuff, right? You said it was, the list was published.
Yes, right here, Shawnee County. Our courthouse has released a number of properties that are up for auction because of taxes owed. And this can happen. Maybe this has happened to you out there. Who knows? Maybe you've heard of it, or maybe somebody in your family or somebody in your sphere of influence has actually bought a property because of this situation. And if you don't know, you actually show up to the courthouse. Some people actually bring a bunch of cash with them.
Bags, pillowcase, briefcase.
You have, I think it's 10% of the money. You have to have a certain amount of cash on your person, and you have to be able to bring the rest of the money in a cashier's check, like within hours of the auction. Or it goes right back up for auction.
And there's no getting loans. Like, you're not able to get a loan to buy one of these houses. You can if you pay the cash to the county up front and buy it, and then you go to the bank and then you get a loan on it. But there's no going to the county with a pre-approval letter and saying, hey, I'll close this in 30 days.
That is true. And if you've ever heard of somebody in your local area talk stuff about, man, that cheap house right there, I could get that for a few $1,000s, and you go to yourself, I've never seen a house for a few $1,000s on Zillow. This guy's crazy. He might not be crazy, because in these certain situations where the house has been abandoned for so long, is in such bad repair, and because of the fact that the property value was never high to begin with, the taxes owed may only be, it may only be a few $1,000s. And in some cases, the county loses out. Sometimes they just sell it. They sell it absolutely for whatever it brings, no matter what is owed. And, they just kind of eat that cost, or we eat that cost as a community, because technically it's our money.
I want to talk about that part because the amount, and I want to learn about that because you and I, I don't have, after 17 years in the business, I don't have a signpost for when things get foreclosed on for taxes. But you said that guy might not be crazy. Oh, he's crazy in a certain way. For him to be willing to buy something like this, because a lot of times you're buying these sight unseen. You don't know what the condition is inside. You've walked around the outside. Maybe you did get inside because the window was broken out and you climbed in the window or something like that, whether you're supposed to do that or not, but you're buying something that you're not exactly sure what it is. And it could be a guy or person that likes adventure. They want to rip that wall out and discover what kind of termite damage there is.
Luke, I'm going to stop you right there because after being an investor myself for now 6 years, I'm ready for that adventure.
That's what I thought. This crazy guy's right here.
And I may have told you this before, but once we finished selling our last flip, I told myself that the next house we do is going to be a full gut. I want to buy a house for cheap and do absolutely everything. Because to me, this is the bridge between what I have been doing, which has been, $40,000, $50,000 renovations of houses, bridging me to one day actually building single family homes or multifamily homes, building new construction. If I can take a house and put it down to its skeleton and its shell and then start all over, like I said, it's a great bridge. And down the line, I would love to build at least one house, new construction, every single year.
I remembered that conversation, and I wanted you to have the opportunity to say that again and articulate it another way. And you did it the same way with a little bit of extra on there, and the way we've been talking about it is kind of from the perspective of the buyer, really. Regular people can go to the tax auction and buy a house. As an agent, have you been approached by buyers that want to buy something at the tax auction or are asking you for help with the tax auction?
So by and large, 95% of the people that I talk to don't really they know that these things exist, but they've never looked into how to do it. And let's just be honest, in this generation, if there's not a commercial on TV or somebody making a TikTok about it or some meme or something about it on Facebook or on social media, there's only a small percentage of the people that'll jump through the hoops, make the calls, and figure out what it takes to do what we're doing here. And just so you know, here in Topeka and Shawnee County, you can actually get on a mailing list. So that way, anytime a sale like this happens, you can be notified. The county is really, really smart. And what they actually do is they will send out advertisement, not to everybody in the county, but people who live close to these houses that are up for auction. Mm-hmm. They realize that those are the ones that are more likely to have some kind of interest in who owns a property in their neighborhood.
Wow, that's interesting.
So for the first time ever last year, I feel like somebody in my family got a whole list, the same list that I've gotten online. It was mailed to them and advertised to them. Maybe you're not opening all your mail, but if you're interested into something like this, call down to your register of deeds and they can help you get information. Call down to your local courthouse and you can get information about when these sales are going to be. They listen, this is not something they're trying to keep from you. They want these to be as busy as heck, because the more people that are there bidding on the properties, the more money that it gets for the county and for everybody involved. So this is not a conspiracy. Just do your own due diligence.
And it's really an opportunity, and that's possibly why you don't see a whole lot of TikToks out there about it and people pointing you at the tax sale, because that room, it's a room for opportunists. You know what I mean? Again, from the agent perspective, so if you get a call about one of those properties, like, I don't really get calls beforehand. And it might be that the guys that know about them, like, they don't want you to know because they want to buy that one. You know what I mean? So they kind of do their own research. But the call that you will get as an agent is right after the tax sale. There could be people from, other areas, like we're here in Kansas, and sometimes there'll be California investors that just bought properties. Who knows how many they put bids on, and they bought a few. And then sometimes they don't pay for them, actually. They buy them, and then they're like, okay, go now. Can you go and do a BPO for me? You know, they're calling you up, asking you to give them a valuation because they didn't know which one they were going to get.
Yeah.
And then I think that sometimes after that sale happens, some of those people back out, and then those properties come available again. I think I've never been there to get the rebound. Yeah. I'm a rebounder too. Like I'm boxing out, I got hustle. I've been hustling my whole career, basketball career I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely. FBA, baby.
So, we'll probably report back to you after the tax sale. Do you know?
It's coming in September. So next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that idea that the neighbors are going to be more invested, like buyers too, because they want to improve their neighborhood. That's like a really important concept.
Hell, and it's not just about, even if you're not playing offense to improve, it could be defense to say, I want to be the one who decides who's going to be in my neighborhood. I'm tired of playing Russian roulette on the neighbors. Mm-hmm.
I was going to mention one more thing, just an occurrence that happened with an agent on my team. We've got a lot of things.
We have an occurrence alert, folks. An occurrence took place. Let me sit back.
Occurrence. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! There's a cost to an occurrence in this case. And, it's hard. Both he and I were considering, some of the repairs that were taking place on the property. We had a lot of things going on. This house appraised low. The sellers were playing hardball and they didn't want to come down on the price. The buyers didn't have money, so they couldn't contribute to come up and meet the purchase price on the deal. So we're going back and forth. A lot of stalemates. Has to do with like a relocation, even through somebody moving here through a big company. The way he connected to him was really far. He connected through a website through me. Then the relocation company called it. Super complex is what I'm saying. You want me to stop? I'm kind of tired of talking about it. No. But then in the end, it came down to, okay, they finally settled on the price, and now we need to just fix this one foundation thing. We're just going to do it. Bing, bang, boom, done. Final walkthrough. Hey, where's the wall? Like,
wait, whoa.
Why is this outlet messed up? Sorry. Are they going to put that back? Because we're closing in 30 minutes. Probably do your final walkthrough the day before. Like, that's going to be best. The sellers they're like, well, we're going to be moving that day. It's going to be dirty and there's going to be boxes. Don't care. We need to do the final walkthrough the day before. So if there's a problem, then we have some time to deal with it. And I think it was a Friday.
So what would you call this a miscommunication on the expectation of this repair? Or would you call this a problem? You were sold one thing, or somebody was sold one thing and it ended up being something different?
Kind of like a typo. It was misread, just through all the details. He didn't realize that it said that they weren't going to put the wall back.
Okay. So when you really examine the invoice or the quote, they said it. And
I think it was pretty informal. It was just a text message too, I think, which is even worse, And so it ended up.
But even on the text somewhere, it was, either way, it was there. They covered their butt.
There are certain things as an agent that you learn from a cha-ching experience, You just didn't realize that they possibly wouldn't put the wall back.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is this a situation where the actual end user, the client, could have actually just read a little bit deeper and realized the same thing? Or is it a situation where even though that was the case, you still feel responsible because you didn't emphasize it? You didn't say, this is what it's going to have, and you might think it's going to have this, but it's not.
Yeah.
And that's the bid. That's
okay.
it. So I can already see you want to take responsibility for this.
He just did. Who
is he?
My teammate.
Wow.
It's I don't want to say who it was because
we don't have to.
Yeah.
It's a human being.
Without question, he's just like, boom, I'm getting a bid, I'm paying for it, And then even when it came down, his integrity is high with me even, because even when it came down to like splitting how we split the commission, he was just like, no, you don't need to pay for that. Like, wow. I missed that, He just didn't get it. And, I was like, I'm not going to make you hurt for that. Trust me. I'm like, why would I make money if you're barely making anything? What I mean? And then also like, the little cherry on top, It's like sometimes you learn these lessons that you remember for the rest of your career. And every time you have a foundation getting done, you're like, hey, what's up with that wall? Huh? When's that going in?
Yeah.
Wall doesn't smell right.
That's right.
Know.
Y'all paint it the same color when it's back done? All that stuff.
I have those. I really do. I should write those down so that we can share some more of those for the future. But you'll have those agents. Just don't make mistakes. But guess what? You do. And you know what? Just stand up and pay for them. Stand up and take care of them and count it as some education that you pay. It was like your tuition.
Listen, I got to stop and just say that a lot of agents, in fact, most agents would have found a way to have put that on the client and left them with the sour taste in their mouth. And who knows what the final experience would be for the end user when that actually happens. So high integrity around here. It
pays. It pays back in the future. You're paying it forward, and you're standing up for your own actions. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what high integrity is. Thanks for summing that up, Chris. I just had to add, again, a cherry.
Well, you wouldn't have done it, so I had to.
Oh, you're right. On to the homeyology or homology.
That's right.
Some industry stats,
Yeah, what you got for me?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is a stat, but something that's really important is that interest rates have dropped. They dropped over the past 7 or 8 days. And looking where I track those, the conventional interest rate or conventional 30-year mortgage dropped 0.6%. So it was like 7, and it got down to like 6.4. To yesterday, it was 6.454.
Wow.
So is that going to make people, get off the fence? Are they sitting on the fence? Is that what they're doing? Are they walking on the fence like Heathcliff?
Heathcliff, no one should. Sorry.
Terrorize the neighborhood.
Yes.
Oh, that's still just melody, I think.
Yes, we love you guys.
They're just not making a decision, because they have a great interest rate, right? Well, 6.454, it's still below the historic average for interest rates, which is right about 7%. Is it going to drop further? They say it's going to get cut again. And I heard we weren't getting cuts until September. And really, that is true from the Fed standpoint.
Yeah, we're not.
This is just the market responding to what they're expecting. So
this is the banks trying to be aggressive, and they're hedging, and they're thinking if things continue on, these bets that we're making now will pay off in the future. And we got to be competitive in a market where there's some strain. They're trying to get things going. I don't believe that this one change is going to make a big difference on how we see things or how we feel things. But for the people across the United States where, $400,000 is the average price of a house, 0.6 percentage point is going to mean hundreds of dollars off of your payment. So immediately for somebody who's actually in the market, they're going to be able to afford more house overnight. And that's a good thing if that's what they need. Or if they've realized that the amount of money that they were approved for prior wasn't even going to meet their needs, it wasn't worth it, and then now all of a sudden this little few $100 bump a month is making it to where maybe we can do it.
Yeah, in real dollars, monthly payment, it is a change. I kind of feel bad for people that just bought a house like 2 weeks ago or something like that. They're locked in at 7 or something like that. Maybe.
Listen,
edit that out. Can you edit that one out? Neil, just edit it.
Fine. Like they're going to be fine.
Use AI or something.
We don't know when it's going to happen, but you've been in this long enough that there will be a time where it goes down and all the title companies are getting beaten mercilessly with refinances.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
When it goes down, it's good for everybody. Even somebody, if you bought something with a higher mortgage, don't worry. It's coming to you too.
That's right.
Just make a move.
Yeah.
And so what that does, if that person that Chris is talking about, where the interest rate affects, where it's an emergency for them, where you guys hear those sirens?
It's the segue quick right here, boy.
If it actually changes their decision because their payment is $300 less or something like that, they might come off the fence. You know what I mean? And that's what affects supply and demand, because the supply is probably the same. We're probably not getting a whole lot of more houses on the market. It could be It could be one for one. It could be that one person decides to buy and that means that one person decides to sell too. But I think the person that's probably more likely to get off of the fence is the person who's just waiting to buy, not necessarily a person that has a house to sell to. I don't, you know.
Yeah. I mean, not the people at 2.5% interest ain't. This is not making them excited at all. Oh yeah, they don't care.
That's very true. And so, but when we look at, so I wish that I had brought in the absorption rate stuff from last month. What I did actually is I brought absorption rates from last year. From July of 2023. I was about to say,
I'm like, what am I looking at there?
When our whole absorption rate for our entire market in Shawnee County was 1.2 last year, it's actually now, I mean, you hear that there's a lot more supply, but it's still just 1.3. So, I mean, that's for the entire market. And something that I see a real difference in, this is the one that I noticed this morning, is that previously, and maybe even the month before this, between 400 and 600,000, we had two of the segments that were 7 months of supply. And now, in 2024, there are none. There's just those same 1 month or 450 to 500 was 7 months supply last year, and it's only 1.9 now. And 550 to 600 was 7 months supply last year, and it's only 1 now. And if I remember right, last month's stats were about the same thing. And here's the thing. When I'm out there in the field, that's where I'm operating more too. I've got a lot more calls about 450 and 500,000 than I've ever had in the past. I hope that that's happening for you some too. You getting those?
No.
Yes. No.
Not at all.
Well, it's happening more.
They're good.
I think it is. Let's look at how many are under contract in those price ranges.
I guess you could say that my clientele is more of the everyman variety of clientele compared to Luke, who has clientele of means.
Am I every woman? Is that what we're doing? What are you doing with the everyman thing? Get that out of here, man. I am every man. Right?
You are, but you're starting. You're starting to get calls like this. I'm starting to question.
This year, from 400 to 500, there are 23 that are under contract right now. And last year, from 400 to 500, there were 15 that were under contract at this point. So that's about a 50% increase. There. And then from 500 to 600, last year there were 7 under contract, and right now there's only 5 under contract. So I mean, it's not a huge fluctuation because the magnitude or the frequency of it isn't that high, but it's still substantial. It's mentionable, Houses, the number of houses on the market in that range, 864. Why did I do that? Why did I say I was going to 612? 20 from 400 to 600 now. And last year, 23, 25, 32. So there were more houses actually available last year in that price range.
That 50% increase that you talked about when it came to the pending sales too. So
why don't you guys, when you guys are listening to this stat part, if you guys want to comment and let us know, like, hey, we need some bullet points, or hey, I get lost at that one part, or hey, that was really good stat work, Chris. Prop that boy Luke up. Let us know, because really, I'm a stats guy. Like, I love stats, like all the time. I could sit here and talk about this for 20 or 30 minutes because it means something to me. Like, every little piece of it has a implication somewhere, but stats aren't the same for everybody, and especially for consumers. Like Neil's over here right now. Look at him. No, Neil likes stats too. Okay, well, moving on to our next segment. Let's go on to Full House. Full House is where we talk about some design trends. Paint colors or yard items, garden gnomes, that type of thing. Yeah. I mean, you like the gnomes?
Oh, absolutely. David specifically.
Yeah. That was the morning cartoon, wasn't it? 6 o'clock in the morning. All right. All right. I bought 3 garden gnomes last year. I think I got them for like 50 cents.
Look around you.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one.
Oh, that's okay. The people know. Mm-hmm. Iconic. Oh.
Well, where do gnomes hide? They hide in the grass. You know, that's what I was doing with my 3 little ones. I was moving them around the yard, and then our little girl's like hoping that she could find them every once in a while. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you're the guy who's going to plant that grass.
That's right.
Where we can hide those gnomes. Not at my house, but at your house.
That's right.
So what are you doing with grass right now?
So, without getting too far in the weeds, wink, wink, we run cool season grasses up here. Cool season grasses by nature are they do best when it's cool outside. So fall and spring. And so summer every single year, depending on how brutal that summer is it hurts cool season grasses because they just don't like the heat and they require extra water during this time. And inevitably, no matter how on top of your lawn that you're going to get, you're going to notice some thinning coming out of summer. You're going to notice some spots that may have completely gone dormant and they will bounce back once conditions are favorable. And then there's going to be some spots that are absolutely dead and they will not come back, which means the only way to replenish those in the fall is to throw down some more seed and start over, Doesn't necessarily, just because you're buying seed doesn't mean you're replacing your entire lawn. You're just strengthening, what you already have in preparation for spring of next year. So that way you can start off the spring with a really nice, healthy, thick lawn that is going to stop the encroachment of a bunch of weeds that come in when it is hot.
You've always told me that this is the time. If I'm spreading in the summer, just you might as well not even do it. Spreading it in the springtime, like some of that's going to survive, but it's not really going to get deeply rooted enough to survive the harsh summer, So I learned, and I did it last fall, and man, Amanda mowed last week and came in, and both of us. Say? I don't know how we magically both said at the same time, the grass is more full than it was. We have had success from this green resistor. That's what it's called, right? Green resistor. This stuff is good, man. We have channels in the front where it's a little bit lower, and it was just a lot of weeds last year. Channels are above our septic laterals,
Yeah.
And those have kind of filled in with grass. We had areas where the dogs were running by the fence, and I even bought I know you laughed at me for this last time, but we bought some turf that you can put down. And then the grass can grow through it.
I'm not mad at you. Listen, it made sense because once you told me about the dog situation, the compaction, and that worked.
Guess what? No, we didn't have to do it. The grass is there. The green resistor is growing in those paths anyway. And that's why I'm wondering, I was going to ask you, has this been a really good grass summer?
Okay.
What's going on?
It's been the best grass summer we've had in about 3 years.
Oh, wow. All right.
We were in an unmitigated drought over the past couple of years with just not enough rainfall. And, the temperatures are high. They're always going to get high, but we've had a couple of weeks, this week included, where cloud cover has brought the temperatures down into the 80s. Today. Very spring-like.
Yeah, this is August. Did I say
this
earlier?
This is supposed to be
17th?
dog days of the summer, But seriously, it's been the best summer that we've had on grass easily in 3 years, and maybe even beyond that, honestly.
So this is partly weather. This is partly that I put the seed down at the right time. This is partly that I dethatched the whole lawn. I dethatched. Yeah, I bought a $180 dethatcher from Facebook Marketplace for $20. That pull behind my mower.
That's right.
Yeah, so that might have had a big effect. We're just really happy with it. I was rolling around in that grass over this weekend, putting together our daughter's play set that I also bought off a marketplace that was still in boxes.
Wow.
And just a kickback or reference back to last week. I decided that I'm going to plant a tree out there. We were talking about the different types of trees. I was in the sun. I kind of oriented the roof of the playset, so hopefully in the afternoon, she can be in the shade for the most part. But I thought, this thing is going to be steaming hot. These monkey bars, I was picking them up to put them on, and it was the screws were scalding me. So I was I got to get this thing out of the sun. So I'm going to plant a Freeman maple. I don't just put this stuff together and then put it in the bottom of my desk and leave it laying all over my desk. I do leave it laying all over my desk, but I follow my advice, and I'm going to plant that tree. I believe in ChatGPT.
Wow. Or now,
ChatGPT.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is it smart? Do we start from an actual seed, or do we get the sapling somewhere?
Should I?
I don't know.
Should I get one of the Freeman maple acorns or something?
Dude, it would be really cool to do it from, I mean, man, to have that.
Is it a maple acorn? That's from oak trees, right? What kind of seed do you get from a maple? Is it like, do I need to get a leaf?
Give me 10 more years. I'll know the answers to all these questions.
Is it syrup? Do I just put do I need the ground sipping on some scissor? Is that what it is? Some Freeman scissor? No? Probably not.
No. Man, you must make this happen.
Did you find out? You typed it in. Tell me.
I did. Maple trees have the little helicopter seed things.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love those.
I know.
I freaking love. Are they going to get in the pool? Okay. To-do list item. Check the Freeman maple for helicopters. I still might do it because I love the helicopters.
Yeah. And you now own one hell of a pool filter.
Yeah. That's Jerry. Good old Jerry. As a kid, did you grab the helicopters out of the gutter and then throw the whole pile in the air?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, whoa. You scared me for a second.
Yeah. Well, when you said out of the gutter, I was thinking of the rain gutters at your house. I'm like, okay. I was like, there had to have been a better way.
When my stepdad made me clean the gutters when I was 8.
And that was what that was my payment. I got to throw them in the air. And continue to have a place to live.
He wanted me to be a pilot, and then he said, "No, is that too far? I take it too far."
He
did want me to be a pilot.
That sounded?
Yeah, no. I'm gonna try to work on an impression for him. Actually, I should have that in my repertoire.
You definitely should. Now, speaking of grass, though,
still,
I've got a story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is house party, guys. We already did the funny part, but bring some more,
man.
Sir.
My son, my 7-year-old son, is hanging out with with my in-laws in Omaha this week, and so I can do whatever I want.
Right before school starts,
right?
Yeah, school starting soon.
Yeah, that's right. Give him one more chance to feel him, and give us one more break before we get back into the routine. And so I woke up and I decided. Actually, I went to bed knowing I was going to get up early and mow the lawn.
Lofty goal. Good.
Yeah. I'm normally an evening mower. Oh. So the morning thing, because I'm normally hanging out with my son and getting him ready for the day.
Mowing like with the flashlight, with the headlamp. Is that how you do it?
No. I can see that. No, I need one.
Okay.
Honestly, I should have one.
That's why this story happened, because you needed light. Go ahead.
No.
This is the morning. This is
morning.
Your story.
The sun had rose. And I got my butt out there and I'm listening to my music, and I'm in the backyard where this is like the wildest part of my yard, because we butt up to a creek. And so there's a lot of wildflowers and little trees that try to grow up there. And I do my best to beat them back every year. But on this particular morning in my shorts, I'm just out there, no shirt on.
Barefoot.
I am not barefoot. I am not crazy. That is a safety hazard, right, sir.
Just checking.
I had my shoes on, and I noticed that I felt something on the front of my leg, and it like something kind of was hurting. And I looked. That's
what people say when they get like cut or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I see some type of bee, and I'm thinking, did this little mother lover did he sting me?
He loved you.
I think,
did he?
Bro, you don't I felt something through my shorts. And
they were probably jorts too, right?
And it hurt. And so when I realized that it was a bee on my person, I ain't gonna lie.
Like a honeybee?
Dude.
Keep going. Sorry.
Listen, I was so frightened.
Okay.
That I let go of the mower. Now listen, this could have got bad. Because the area, because of the damn creek. I could have dropped. That mower could have flew down into the creek. It's legitimately.
That thing's probably electric too. Could have shocked like a school of fish or something.
Bro, it could have been a real problem. But I screamed. I ain't even gonna lie. I let go. Oh shit! I'm doing all of this
because you thought it could be more than one. Maybe because from how it felt,
bro, you
don't know because it just came out of nowhere.
You're not gonna understand. I don't know what I did, bro. Because I satisfy myself that this bee does not have friends. He didn't leave the pheromone trail that says, "Come on, fellas." He didn't do that, And so I start mowing. I gotta mow. I only have like 3 strips of grass that I gotta finish just to get inside without being further assaulted.
But what if you go into anaphylactic shock?
Nah, this ain't my girl and I ain't him. But I will say this. As I get going again, this time I felt a sting on my butt.
This sounds like a freaking Yellow Jacket or something, bro. He stung you more than once?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was him that I saw, but now I am feeling I'm feeling like I've been stung in my ass. Okay?
That's not good.
That's what I'm feeling like. And one part of me, I'm like, this hurts, but on the other part of me, I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. You know, I'm getting. It's gonna
make you strong. It might make it swell up and look even better.
Ain't no might. I went, and as soon as I got done, I went to the dang. I had to get showered up for today's episode anyway. Perfect. And so the first thing I do is I look at my butt, and I got a spot about that big that's just all puffed out, looking crazy. And it was 2 of them. And you know what is going around right now? Because of the cicadas, all the cicadas in there, those cicada killers.
Oh, yeah,
it's a certain type of yellow jacket or some certain type of bee.
I thought they didn't sting people, man.
I don't know.
Were you making a sound?
They don't really.
Were you out there like,
the mower was? The mower was?
The mower confused the cicada.
I don't know what I ran over or who I offended when I did it, but I got attacked.
Jeez,
it's just that simple. I screamed. My neighbors had to have heard me because as I scream, I'm letting go of the mower, which goes off. So, I'm doing all of this. And of course, I'm looking at each of my neighbors to see.
Do you have a Ring camera back there?
No.
Come on, man.
I know. I just felt like I'm unflankable in the backyard because of that dang creek.
We have to get those now just for this show. Don't you think?
Oh yeah.
That could have been gosh. Good. Yeah, you could have went viral and just quit this job, man. Probably. I'm sure you were moving like lightning out there. You know, that was this morning.
I haven't been stung since I was 4 years old.
Me neither.
And I've always had a respect. Fear of bees ever since being stung as a 4-year-old.
I don't mess with
I don't run or act weird, I just make sure I know what's going on. But after this morning,
you gotta cool out.
This morning, I didn't do nothing.
When it flies around, you just have to act like a statue. That's the only, and then you move like a very old robot, right? That's how you get away from bees and wasps and stuff like that, right?
Brother, I thought I was being good, like I said.
How do you feel now? That was this morning.
I can feel it. Yeah, I can. Oh yeah, if I rock on my butt just right, I can feel it.
But it's not that bad. It seems like.
Nah, I don't think he left the stinger in me.
Well, yeah.
But I don't. But hey, this is the other problem. I wasn't wearing underwear, y'all. I just had on some nylon shorts.
Crucial detail, everybody. Everybody should know this.
I just on, but no underwear. Safety first.
Now what? Come on, man. Who would have known that I was putting my butt in danger at that point?
Now you know.
And honestly, had I had the underwear on,
the more you know.
He might not have had a way out. He might have been just stuck in there, just stinging my. So actually, it was probably smart that I left things able to breathe up in there. All right, wrap things up. We're gonna wrap things up, man. We are wrapping this show.
No, we got time, dude, because I want to talk about my Yellow Jacket experience.
Ooh,
okay.
Help me.
And I'm gonna keep it brief, and we can talk about it later some other time if we want to. But when we moved into our house, there was like we bought it already.
The house off Minnesota,
off of 37th Street, the one we're in right now.
Oh, that house, your house.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you as a kid.
In the back, there was like a little burn pile that was kind of smoldering still. When we got there. And I noticed, man, there's some, bees in there, And
Wait a second.
So I sent...
Wait a second. What?
I sent out pictures. I sent it... Because bees, you don't want to kill, a school of bees, or what is it called? A hive of bees? If they're honey, that's the thing, right? You don't want to... They're pollinators, right? Bro. And so I was I sent out pictures, I would anybody like to come and save these bees? And people were like, dude, those are Yellow Jackets. They will kill you. Yellow Jackets, they will attack and attack and attack. And if you're up on a den of them, then you got some problems. Well, it was right by where our movers were going to be moving in all the furniture. So we're lucky we didn't move on the same day we closed.
And it's on fire.
It was smoldering. The dude had burned it. He was trying to kill him, and he never told us about him. And it was like, okay.
He was doing you a favor.
Dude, our movers who we paid like $5,000, you know, they would have not even been able to move, or they would have got messed up. There was like 15 movers or something like that. It would have been a whole hubbub, you know.
You could have got sued before you ever even slept in that house.
Yeah.
Dude,
I called a dude out, and he said that he was pumping stuff in there longer than any time than he ever has. And those things just kept coming out and kept coming out and kept coming out. Biggest dude with like 20 years experience said it was the biggest yellow jacket nest that he'd ever encountered. And they haven't come back 3 years later.
Okay, so how big of a pile of... So were you looking at the remains of their hive?
Some. And how... Well, no, because it's underground. Like, it was nothing but undergroundness, dude. Just a hole.
So you're saying these yellow jackets just live underground like ants?
Yes.
Oh, bro, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They look like a wasp with the lines on the tail or whatever, like a bee does.
Yes.
So you see those, do not mess, because that guy would have been in your... How'd you do it? I'm trying to do it like you did that. I would have done it different, you know. But then I just wanted to share one more a fear story. You know, one time I was hungover. This is probably like 15 years ago. It was a Sunday morning. I was going out to do my open house in a rural area. I jumped out my little green Acura, you know, popped the trunk open, kind of plodded out there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this directional arrow right here in the ditch, tall grass, and all of a sudden something moved over here, and it kind of stood up, and I was like, oh! And it scared me like that. It was a black snake, dude. The thing, and it
made you moan.
He stood up like that, and I've never screamed like that in my whole life, dude.
Bro.
And then he just went away, and I just started laughing at myself because I was like, why did I get so scared? You did today.
Bro, come on, man. For real, listen.
I'm from the city, man.
It's one thing to see a snake slithering by, but when he does the king cobra on you, I would have screamed too.
They do that, right?
It could have been worse.
Did I imagine that? Like,
no, it happened. I don't care.
I believe it. I believe me.
I don't care.
I believe me, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't have made the rustling noise that it did had he not had some verticality.
I screamed. It was such a wussy scream.
Mine was too.
Neil,
that's why I immediately looked to my neighbors.
What do you have for our home stretch here, man? The home run, or how we cross this home plate, sir?
I want to circle back real quick.
Oh, we're circling back.
We always do. To the tax, when you're talking about tax auctions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
After the auction's done, like, is there a redemption period? What's that process like? You can't can you just buy the house and turn around and flip it and immediately sell it?
I'm glad we're talking about this because it is my belief that this type of auction, when it comes to taxes, it's absolute. And when you get it, you own it. It's yours. You might have to evict some people possibly if there was a squatter situation.
Yeah.
But you'll have the rights to. Nobody will be able to come back and you might have somebody that has possession of the house, but nobody will be able to claim ownership. What you're thinking of is when there is a foreclosure situation going on, I believe, and you can help me if
and
that's the case.
And the sheriff's sale happens.
Yes. And then there would be redemption rights. And now any dollar that you put into that house after securing it, you could be setting that dollar on fire because down the line. So what do they often say? How long do you want to wait in those situations before you even start any work on those places?
I believe that the redemption period is standard, like per state, you know? So I think that once because foreclosure could happen 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, you know, and depending on what the situation is with that owner of the house, if they have any extenuating circumstances, if they hire an attorney, you know, if that's their homestead, all that type of thing, that can affect when the actual sheriff's sale happens. And the sheriff's sale is the one that somebody else actually buys it, whether it be the lender themselves or, investor Chris over here or whoever it may be. And when they buy it that day, then that clock starts to tick for that redemption period. And I think it's 90 days around here. I mean, maybe it could be, and it might even be determined by the sale. I feel like it could have been 30 as well.
Just look it up.
What happens, like what redemption is is that person that was foreclosed on has the opportunity to redeem it. You know, they have the opportunity to
write a fat check of all the money that they owe the bank and make it right.
If you could get another bank to give you the money or to give you a loan, if it could close and you could actually provide the money in that redemption period, you can take the property back and own it again. So I'm saying at least you're waiting at least 30 days, probably 90 days, or you go and you buy those redemption rights from the person that was foreclosed on.
Boom. There you go. And then you can get started immediately because you got something in hand that says, I ain't redeeming nothing.
Taxes, different.
There
don't
you
mess
go.
with the government like that. You can not pay your lender and have a little bit of grace, but when you don't pay taxes, I think it takes a while to get to tax foreclosure. And that's the one that I want to learn about. I just don't know how long it takes.
Well, what I'll also say is that the type of thing that we're talking about with the foreclosure, you may have seen some stuff on TikTok or on the internet where people are at an actual house where they do it on site, where this sale is specifically because of this property on this day, and you could go there and bid up against the bank, just like he is saying.
Isn't that what they did in Happy Gilmore? His grandma. I think. Yeah.
And whereas the one that I'm talking about is not on site. You're at the courthouse and they're just telling you what, you know, they're rattling through a bunch of addresses and they're going one by one until they're done. And I will say a lot of addresses on this time. I mean, I've spent copious, a lot.
Because taxes are so much higher now too. Like a lot of, I mean, maybe that has something to do with it because property values have appreciated and maybe more people are behind on their taxes, and people who were already behind are exponentially behind more than they were like from year to year before, you know?
He might be onto something, but I will
we
say. We
usually are at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a website, and it actually has all of our specific parameters that could put you in a position to get your stuff auctioned off to begin with. It kind of spells out.
List. Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll post it for the public, just like we post these episodes, you know?
That's right.
We do it because we love you guys. We love the agents. We love the buyers. I love the sellers. You love the sellers too, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yeah. We're
Couldn't
here
do
for
it
you
without you guys.
So this was August 7th, 2024. We're happy that you guys visited us here on Hangin.
With the Homeboys.
Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back next week doing it again.
That's right. Peace out.
See you later.